Morning, guys. Can you guys see the bell ringer okay?
Yes.
All right. It's a special one.
I can see
So
I can
spend
see
some time.
y equals 3.
What?
I can see y equals 3. I can't see the rest.
That's all of it.
Oh.
You are seeing it all, my friend. It's a special one. So go through the steps for plug and chug just like we were doing yesterday, and we'll see how you do. All right. I'll be right back with you. If you guys weren't here when we first came on, you should be able to see the bell ringer. Go ahead and have your problem for homework that we had yesterday ready to show me and work on the new one. Okay. Graph paper, pencil, straight edge. And I'm going to show you this equation's a little different than the couple we did yesterday. So try your best and use plug and chug. Okay.
Mr.
I'll be
Corbett,
back.
I wasn't here yesterday, so can I get the problem that we did yesterday?
You should be able to get the notes and stuff from somebody. If not, I'll see about posting the video from yesterday. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Huh? Guys, we're waiting on Rylan. He's trying to get in and having some issues. So just go ahead and, like I said, spend some time on the bell ringer. It's a little different, but follow your rules and see if you can work your way through it, okay? Try. Don't just sit there with nothing on your page.
Mr. Corbin?
Yes, who calleth?
Rylan, I made it in.
Hey, buddy, good to see you.
You too.
Hayden, I'm posting the class recording from yesterday, so it should be loaded. If it's not loaded already, it's soon to be, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So let me see. I was just checking. We were just waiting on you, Rylan, to make sure you got in okay. If you guys, for some reason, I usually try to open it up about 5 till. If for some reason it's not open right at 5 till, don't squirm. Just give it a second and then retry. Just go ahead and close out and retry again, because I'll have it up by 8 o'clock every morning unless something's wrong. Okay. All right. Let me make sure I've got everybody. There's Miss Poe. Hello, Miss Poe. Good to see that you made it. I had you not making it a while ago. We don't have Wolf, Reynolds, or Osborne, do we? Okay, so what did you guys come up with on the bell ringer? Let you guys see my smiling face this morning. What did you guys come up with?
Down.
Huh?
I didn't get to write it down. I just got in.
Well, everybody else that's been here, what's your thoughts?
I got confused and I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay, well, let's see if we can't talk about it together. Okay, so don't be afraid to unmic and ask questions or just to throw something out there, because you guys haven't seen this before. As a matter of fact, we only did maybe three examples yesterday, plus the homework problem. So, I mean, you're not experts at plug and chug graphing, but What do you notice about this equation that is different than the ones we did yesterday?
There's
It
no
doesn't
X.
have like +1.
Okay, it doesn't have what?
Like, it's not like y equals 3, like +1. It's just y equals 3.
Well, it's missing what?
It's missing X.
Yeah, that's right. The X is not in the equation. So this is still a linear equation. It still makes a line, but it's actually going to be a special line. Okay, so let's see if we can't go ahead and follow our steps for plug and chug. Somebody tell me, what do we do first in plug and chug?
Pick X value.
Okay, that's the first step, but we've got to draw what first?
The
Coordinate
teacher
point?
thingy.
Yeah, the T-chart. Okay, so there's X and there's Y. So going back, Tavon, what were you saying about picking X values?
So the first step is pick X values 0, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, just three of them, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, you can pick as many as you want. And again, get this, you can use any number for X that you want. Why do we use 0, 1, and 2? It's just easier numbers. I mean, really. If you have some equation that you don't know what it looks like, I mean, that you know it's not linear, you might have to use 8 or 10 points. You pick 8 or 10 X's and find the Y's. But for us, just these being linear, 3 is going to be good enough. Okay, that gives us an extra one. We really only need 2, right? We can draw a line between 2 points, but if one of those points is wrong, it's still going to give me a line and I'm not going to know it's wrong. So we do 3 kind of as a safety net. So here's the deal. We picked our X's. What was the second thing in plug and chug?
Plug in your X values.
Right. The second thing is to plug. And then the third thing was to chug, right? Plug in the X's into the equation and chug to the Y values. The problem here is like someone said before, there's not an X in the equation, is there? Now, does that mean that there's not an X, or does that mean that it has disappeared? The answer to that question is that it has disappeared. Okay, it's actually the coefficient of X is 0, so it really looks like this. It's really an equation, and let me use a different color here. It's really an equation that looks like this. Okay, it's plus 0x. In other words, the coefficient of the X term is 0. Okay, and so whatever we plug in for X makes that disappear, right? So this is how you handle these problems, okay? And these come up all the time, okay? What does the equation tell you? It says what?
Y equals 3.
Okay, you've got to remember Y is equal to 3. So if X is 0, what's Y going to be?
3.
3,
3. If X is 1, what's Y going to be?
4,
3.
What does it say? Y is equal to what?
3.
3. So if X is 2, what is Y?
They're all 3.
They're all going to be 3. That's right, Hayden, because the equation says Y is equal to 3. We don't care what X is. The equation says Y is equal to 3. Now, this is kind of a backup plan. You can do a T-chart for one of these, but this is a special linear equation, okay? Anytime you see a Y equals a number, a constant, and there's no X, this is a horizontal line, okay? I know this is going to be a horizontal line. and it's going to be a horizontal line at y equals 3. So y equals 3 is 1, 2, 3 right there. And I know it's going to be a horizontal line like this. Okay? Any equation that is y equals and there's no x will be a horizontal line at whatever point this is. Now, like I said, you can make you a t-chart and you can prove that out, okay? 0, 3, well, here's 0, 1, 2, 3, there's a point. 1, 3, there's another point. 2, 3, there's another point, okay? So that's just one of those lines that kind of shows up, and you need to make sure you memorize that. You don't really want to have to do a t-chart every time you see y equals 3, because if you memorize it, you know it's going to be a horizontal line at 3. You just go up to the y-axis, put a point, boom, there's your line right there. Okay? Now let me show you this. What if I had x equals 3? You guys want to guess what that might look like? If we just had a line that was x equals 3?
Would it be the same thing
Would
but
it?
backwards?
Okay, hang on just a second, Rylan. Tavon, go ahead.
Would it be the same thing but backwards?
What do you mean?
Like that exact problem we just did, but like flip it to x is 3 all the time and y is 3 all the time, or y is 0, 1, 2.
Okay, that's really he's on the right track right there. That's definitely right. But what's my picture going to look like? Rylan, what'd you start to say?
I was gonna say the same thing as Tavon.
Okay. Well, you guys are definitely on the right track. So what you all are saying is if I take this right here says x is equal to 3, right? So y may be 0, y may be 1, y may be 2, y may be a million, but x is going to be what? If y is 0, and this is kind of crazy because with Plug and Chug, we pick our x's, don't we? But this right here tells me that x is going to be what?
3.
3.
3. Yeah, it's not a trick question. X equals 3. So x is going to be 3. If y is 1, x is going to be what?
3.
3. If y is 2, x is going to be what?
3.
3.
3. So what the equation tells you right here is x is equal to 3. No matter what y is, x is equal to 3. And it's the same thing as what had happened with the x. It's a 0 coefficient for y. And that's a good way to think about it. The y hasn't disappeared. It's just that no matter what y is, x is going to be 3. Okay? So let's draw that line. Can you think of what this might look like before we graph it?
It'd be
Well,
3,
y
0.
equals 3 was a what'd you say, Rylan?
It'd be 3, 0 first.
Sure, you can go ahead and graph these. I just thought you might have an idea what it looks like before. If y equals 3 is a horizontal line, x equals 3 is going to be a what?
Vertical.
It's going to be a vertical. So we can go 3, 1. We can go 3, 2. You know, you could put a whole list of lines or a whole list of points. But the reason I'm showing you guys this is because it's so much easier to remember. If you can just get this in your head, if it's just an x equals a number, it's a vertical line at that point, okay? If it's just y equals, it's a horizontal line at that point. We know this one's going to be vertical before we even graph it. Vertical, yeah. And so if you can remember that, it's going to save you from having to do all of this T-chart stuff, okay? Just know x equals 3 is a vertical line. Go over and put you a point on the x-axis at 3 and draw your line. If it was y equals 3, go over here to the y-axis, put a point on the y, and do a horizontal line at 3, okay? Now, that's just some helpful hints from me to you. It seems like you're always dealing with an equation that has one variable missing, okay? And it's just a horizontal or vertical line, okay? All right. Any questions on that? Commit that to memory now. I'm telling you, it's going to help you if you do.
Yeah,
All right.
that seems really easy, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it's something you got to remember, right? That you can't, I mean, you've got the backup. You can always do a T-chart. Let's say you get to the test and you're like, man, I cannot remember if x equals 3 is vertical or horizontal. I know it's one of them. Well, just throw you up a T-chart. But just remember x equals 3. No matter what, x equals 3. Or when the y, no matter what x is, y equals 3. Okay? And you just fill in your table that way. Okay?
I know I can't be the only one that forgot vertical with like up and down and horizontal side to side.
Yeah, for some reason I have tried. I wish there was like a way that you could remember that, because like I have to make myself remember like which one's which.
All right, let me tell you how I used to remember it. Okay? Think about the root word for horizontal. It's what? What's the root word for horizontal?
Make a wild guess and say zontal.
It's a good guess, Aiden, but it's horizon. So let's say you're gazing out over the ocean, and the line where the imaginary line where the sky meets the ocean, that's the horizon, right? Or if you look out over a field at a sunset where the sky imaginarily meets the ground, that's called the horizon. And it goes this way, right? So I always remembered horizontal with horizon. So you guys, and the other one's vertical. You might be able to remember it that way. Okay?
All right, yeah.
All right. So here's what I want to see. I want you guys to get your problem from yesterday, and I want you to put it in front of your camera. And one at a time, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and turn on your camera so I can see your homework. Okay? I want to see the problem. And Brooklyn, let's start with you. Hey, Brooklyn.
I don't know if this is the
All right,
exact
let me pull it.
but I can't.
All right. Let me see here. Okay. Looks like you got some good work. All right. Thank you. Connor, let me check yours out. All right. You're going to have to pull it up a little bit so I can see it. I'm not closer, just up. All right. Where's your line? Did you get a line?
I didn't get to do it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Dalton, let me check yours out.
I didn't know how to do it.
So you guys have been in my class long enough to know that you need to try, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was one problem. I mean, it wasn't like I killed you with a problem. Did you not do anything?
No.
Nothing. All right, Haley, Hallie, let me see yours. I don't know why I call you Haley. I'm sorry.
It's fine. A lot of people do. My
And
stuff.
I don't do that on purpose.
My stuff. I accidentally left it at my mom's school yesterday, So I can like take a picture and send it to you when I get my backpack back.
That'll be great.
Okay.
All right. Hayden, you weren't here yesterday. Hunter?
No, I'm watching the video right now.
Okay. Well, let's stay with me and then watch the video after class, okay?
All right.
Hunter?
Yeah. Here. Let's show this. You see that?
Hey, I like the marker. I can actually see that really well. Okay. I don't know if that's all right, but certainly is a good looking effort. Okay. And again, you don't have to draw those grid lines. Okay. Don't waste your time drawing all those grid lines, but you do need to go ahead and draw a full coordinate plane with X and Y axis. Okay. All right, Rylan, let me check yours out.
All right. Can you see it?
Okay. I can. Okay. Again,
It's,
what I'm saying to you guys, those of you that have it, what I'm looking for is not accuracy right now because it's hard for me to tell if you got it right. But make sure that a couple things, put arrows on the end of your lines and make sure that you show me where you plugged in and you have your T-chart. Okay. All right, Rylan, thank you.
There, my T.
And
My
then
T-chart's
Dr.
up
Dillard.
here.
Gotcha.
And
Thank
then
you,
my
Rylan.
line's right here.
Okay, Tavon. Gotcha. All right, I see your T-chart. Okay, where's your line? Oh, okay. All right, so you've got it on the axis, right? Back up, let me see your T-chart again. Okay, go up so I can see your T-chart. Up. All right. Okay, so for your T-chart, thank you, Tavon. I appreciate those of you guys opening up your camera. I know sometimes we don't like doing that. But again, make sure yours looks like mine. Okay, if you go to my work from yesterday, make sure that you show me where you're plugging in those X's to chug to your Y's. That's what I'm going to be looking for on the test. Okay, make sure you show me that. And we're just going to practice some more today. Okay, some of you guys were right, some of you were wrong, but we're just going to practice. All right, and make sure yours looks like mine. Those of you that don't have it or didn't show it to me today, make sure you take a picture of that and show it to me. Okay, so let me get up a new problem here, and we'll see what we can do to get you guys more prepared. All right, how about something that looks like this? Okay, everybody make yourself a coordinate plane and let's use plug and chug and do X plus Y equals 7. Everybody try that. Notice anything different about this equation than the ones we did yesterday?
It actually,
The-
we're adding the X and the Y.
Okay, so the Y is not by itself, right? Basically. You guys don't know this, and we'll talk more about it next week, but this is actually called standard form. And the one yesterday was slope intercept form. It's just a way an equation's written, okay? The X plus Y equals the constant. This order, the way it is right now, that's called standard form, okay? And the one yesterday where the Y is by itself, that is slope intercept form. And like I said, we'll talk more about that next week. But all that means here, you're still going to plug in your X's, but Y is just not by itself. You're going to have to solve for Y once you plug in each X, which it's no big deal. You're just going to subtract the X from both sides. So go ahead and follow it. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to go ahead and get it set up, okay? Okay, let's see if we can't do the first one here together. What are we going to pick as our x's?
0, 1, 2.
Yeah. And again, nothing special about 0, 1, and 2 other than they're just easy numbers to deal with, okay? Why kill ourselves with big numbers or negatives or fractions when we can just plug in these little easy numbers, okay? So I'm going to take the 0 and I'm going to plug it in for x and find out what y is. Then I'm going to plug in the 1 for x, solve for y. Because I've got these x's, I just need the y to match. So I'm going to take the first one here, 0, and I'm going to plug it into the equation. Okay. Now 0 plus y is just y, right? So y is equal to 7. So when x is 0, y is 7, right? Let's do it for 1. Plug in x equals 1 plus y equals 7. Now how do I get y by itself?
Subtract the 1.
That's it, Tavon. You're just going to subtract 1 from both sides. And you get y is equal to 6. Okay. And then we'll try one more here. The 2. So plug in 2 for x. So 2 plus y equals 7. Well, how do I get y by itself?
Subtract the 2.
Subtract the 2. And you get y is equal to 5. Okay. So 0, 7. So here's 0 for x. 1, 2. And let me get another color here. How about yellow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's the 0, 7, 1, 6, and 2, 5. Okay, did they line up?
Yes.
They certainly do. And so hopefully you're using a ruler or straight edge and your line is going to look a lot straighter than mine. I'm using a mouse. I can't put a straight edge on it. So, but we don't care. It's a lot nicer if y is solved. In other words, if y is by itself in the equation. But if y is not by itself, you can just plug it in and solve for y as you go. Do you think you could even solve for y before you started? Just get the y by itself?
You mean like in your head?
Well, I mean actually subtract x from both sides and get y equals negative x plus 7. See, this is the same thing as this. And if you plug these numbers into this, you're going to get the same exact thing. So you can leave it and deal with it the way it is, or you can go ahead and solve it for y. But it's the same thing. You're plugging in the x's and you're solving for the y. If y is by itself already, Great, that saves us a couple steps. But it's the same thing. Picking your x's, putting them in a t-chart, plug them in, chug to y, graph your points, boom. All right, let's do one more before we go. Okay. I don't want to do that. Let's do this. All right. How about let's do let's do 4x minus 2 equals y. Okay, everybody try that one on your own. Feel free to unmic and ask questions of each other. You guys can do this like a table talk if you want to. Unmic and talk to each other.
I think most people would just prefer to work alone.
Yeah, that's fine. But if you guys can get to where you're open mic and talking to each other, that helps those that are struggling.
I'm confused on how we'd solve the 4 because the first one's it's 0, 1, 2, and then because the first one's 0, so I put 4 times 0, negative 2 equals y. So I got confused.
Okay. Okay, so
I
when you
put-
plug in 0, when you plug in, what's 4 times 0?
0.
Okay, so what's left? Y equals what?
Negative 2.
You got it.
Oh, I had it right.
Don't be so shocked. The thing that's tough to do for you guys at home, and I know it's tough, is if you don't understand, you don't want to ask because you don't want to be embarrassed, and you sit there and you don't try. The main thing is to try. Guys, I'm telling you, in any math class, try. Who cares if you get it wrong? Okay? Remember, it's an okay to be wrong class. That's the main thing. Try. Always try. Even if it's the most wrong thing you've ever put down, go ahead and try. All right, so like Rylan said, you plug in the 0 for x. 4 times 0 is 0, and you get y is equal to negative 2. So when x is 0, y is negative 2. That's the first one. Okay, let's do a second one here. Remember that 4 is times whatever x is. So if we plug in a 1, okay, and then minus 2 equals y. 4 times 1 is 4, minus 2 is 2. So when x is 1, y is 2. And let's do a third one here. So 4 times, remember x is 2, minus 2 equals y. 4 times 2 is 8, minus 2 is 6. And again, that's just plugging the 2 in for x. 4 times 2 is 8, minus 2 is 6.
Mr. Corbin.
And then, hey,
I messed up. I thought I was multiplying like as if 2 was negative 2.
okay, you mean your multiplying is going to be 4 times whatever you plug in. So you see here where I plugged
Yeah,
in
I did
0,
that,
I plugged in
And then I'd
1.
multiply negative 2.
Yeah, the 2, it's subtracting in it. Remember, minuses are negatives. So just
Yeah.
subtracting 2 from whatever you get. Does everybody see that? I mean, I'm sure Ryland's not the only one that may struggle with that.
I struggled to begin with, but once you told him, once Rylan asked the question, like the first time, I figured a few things.
Good deal. So you got to be able to get to this point right here. You got to get that table filled out. So just plug in for x, solve for y. If y is by itself, great. That saves us some trouble, right? But if y is not by itself, when you plug in for x, solve for y. And then these points, remember, they are what to the equation? What are those ordered pairs to the equation?
Solutions.
They are solutions. You're right. And when we go to the graphing world, what are they?
Lines.
Well, the equation is going to be aligned. The ordered pairs are points that are where? Okay, again, this is the big picture. If ordered pairs are solutions, when we go to the graph, they are points on the line. Okay, that's the big deal. They're points on the line if they are solutions. So 0, -2 hits about right there. 1, 2 hits right there. 2, 6, 2, 4, 6 hits right there. Whoa, that's a bad line. So that's why you guys have got to use a straight edge. Don't look bad like mine. Okay, any questions on that one? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you one more problem for homework, and I'm going to let you guys do the same things that we've been doing, okay? Okay. So let me see here. Let me find a good juicy one.
There's no need for that, Mr. Corbin. We don't gotta do all that, you know.
Hey, you don't want a boring problem, do you, Hayden?
Oh, well, you know, I wouldn't complain.
All right, here's a good one right here. Here's a good one. All right. -x plus 3 equals y. Now, here's my hint to you. -x means whatever you plug in for x is going to have a negative in front of it. So think of it as like opposite sign of whatever you plug in for x. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave you guys with that one. Make sure you put it on graph paper and use a straight edge. And if you need some help, I'll be around tomorrow from 9 to 11. Get on Google Classroom, ask me a question, email me, whatever you need to do. Maybe even, I might even be able to get to you today if I get some time. Other than that, look for the assignment on Monday, okay? Hey, I love you guys. I love you, and I miss you. Looking forward to seeing you next week, okay?
All right.
All right,
Depending
guys.
on what you plug in for X, won't you get a different answer?
Well, it'll be like if you plug in 0, that's not going to change anything. But if you plug in 1, 1's going to be what?
Negative. So, yeah, okay. All right.
You got it, man. You got it. All right. I will see you guys next week, okay? Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Mr. Corman, can you tell me what the problem is again? I forgot to write it down. There it is. Okay, thank you.
Did you get it?
It was 3. It was negative X, and then
Plus 3.
plus 3.
Negative X plus 3 equals Y.
All right, thank you.
All right, buddy. See you.
See ya.